Hello, welcome to the third video of the day. It's been quite a busy day today, but very productive. So we'll crack on with this next painting. Size of the canvas is 20 by 16 inch, and we'll just throw my arms around so we can get some shapes. So just start establishing a quick horizon, a fifth of the way up the page as usual, turning the brush over as I go. And then just going to add some white gesso, a nice long brush again, just start twirling, making shapes. It is a long brush, you can't really tell on this filming, but it is, it's about 10 to 12 inches long, so it's a decent long brush. Some nice expressive movements in with it. A bit more gesso. And as usual, there's no planning whatsoever, just do it. The right hand side of the horizon is looking quite interesting and dark at the minute, and it's Payne's grey I'm using, one of my favourite colours. And again, so I've run out of Payne's grey, so I've just mixed a bit of ultramarine blue and just put a dash of black in. And for the foreground and horizon, I'm going to be using sap green mixed with a bit of carmine red, just to darken it off a bit. Makes a nice earthy colour. Just there we go, just mixing the colours. So I'll put some interest on the horizon first of all. A few bits and pieces. Again, not planning, just working as I go. Start creating patterns and shapes. Could be a bit of a track there, I suppose. I do love that Payne's grey. You don't need a steady hand to paint in this style. I haven't got steady hands at all. Quite on the contrary, shaky hands seem to help. Just gonna put a bit of yellow in the distance there. It is yellow, but it's got a little bit of Indian yellow mixed in to darken off a little. Another track. Perhaps some trees there, could be. As usual, I'm just painting what's in my head. I'm not copying any photos, and I certainly can't see a landscape in my little studio. A few rocks and things. I'm using me just a little 1 inch flat brush as usual. I clean it all the time, but it's getting a bit past it now. It's only dead cheap off Amazon. Interesting feature on the right hand side of the horizon. See where the ground rises up onto the plateau? There's a little rock or something just on the edge there. Completely accidental. Just put a bit more yellow in the distance, give it some light. I was just cleaning my brush off a little bit, just with ordinary water, and I have a separate container with water and the medium, a little bit of medium in that. The medium's Liquitex Flow Aid, just to help the paint on the canvas, give it a bit of flow. A little bit more yellow. Just pick out some of the highlights there. Bit more Payne's grey and a little bit of sap green as well in the foreground. Just create some interest, a few bits and pieces, a few patterns. It's really relaxing actually painting. If you had a rubbish day, you just sit and paint for a while. Does it, clears your head. I'll just put some drama up here now. Payne's grey again. Looking good so far. I'm amazed that the canvas has stayed on the tripod. It's known to drop off halfway through. It's happened 2 or 3 times, but so far so good. I will get a new tripod one day, a decent one, but it's quite nostalgic. I've had it a while and I don't want to get rid of it. It's been well used. It's pretty much held together by paint. Now just with my brush there's little hair on the canvas. I just flicked it off. So I've got 3 dogs in the house, and there's me with my hair everywhere, and there's my wife, so tends to be the odd hair floating about. Now that red there, that's completely accidental, because I'm using gesso, and there's a little bit of red just in my gesso tub that ended up on my brush. But as luck would have it, it seems to work quite well. Sorry if you can hear the dogs barking in the distance, in the background. They do tend to join in with videos sometimes, especially Zoom conferences. I can hear them barking again. All of a sudden looks like a bird in the sky. You know, it's just about every painting I do ends up with a subconscious accidental crow in the sky. Bit more yellow. Suggest little hints of light, perhaps some oilseed rape fields and things like that, you name it. There's a few on the bottom right hand corner, there's a few walls and things developing nicely. Hedgerow. And it's starting to look interesting. I mean, it's reminiscent of around the back of the Roaches and something like Ramshaw Rocks or something like that. It's another one from the Peak District that's buried in the recesses of my mind somewhere. It's all imaginary, but they are real places much of the time. Quite often they're amalgamation of several places around the Peak District in one painting. It's all accidental, nothing's planned. A few trees and shrubs and bushes in, things like that, a few rocks. Brush I'm using at the minute, I couldn't remember the name of it, so I looked it up. It's a rake I'm using. And it's like a flat brush, but it's got little notches cut out of it to make textures and lines. I'm glad I looked up the name. As always, I'm only using 3 colours and white. That's it, that's all I use. That's plenty enough. So already we've got an alright painting coming. It's not perfect by any stretch of imagination, but it'll do me. There's an interesting accident on the feature on the right hand side where the plateau is. And there's a little rock and then it slopes down to the left. At the bottom of that slope there's a little like reddy pink area. Upside down, it could be oilseed rape or it could be a roof of a building. I don't know, but it's quite nice that. I'll keep that. Well, it's not oilseed rape, it's pink. Rose Bay Willow Herb, that's the one I'm after, that's the name of it. A bit rusty on my plant names. Bit more texture over here. Again using the rake. Yeah, it's getting there nicely. I used to spend a lot of time up at the Roaches doing photographs and things. Nice little bit of road perhaps or wall just going in there. A few more lumps and bumps, a few rocks. Bit more Payne's grey here with a flat brush. Yeah, it used to be my church up at the Roaches, just on my own up there. Amazing place. Just stand there and think, watch the sunrise. You wouldn't see a soul, particularly during winter. Not a sausage up there. There's the end of the paint tube there, just getting some scratches in, getting some little tracks and things in. And as always, I'm using acrylic paint because I haven't got the patience to wait for oil paint to dry. As usual, I'm painting quite quickly. Getting that nice long brush out again. Painting alla prima as usual. Alla prima meaning at first attempt. So you do your painting in one sitting, you don't come back to it. In oil painting terms, it'll be wet on wet. But acrylic paint dries that quick, it's not really wet on wet. Some nice swirls again, and shapes and patterns. My favourite brush in the world. Got a few long handled brushes and they're brilliant. There's that streak of gesso on my arm from my previous painting earlier today. Bit more detail. It's looking alright, that. We're just about there, I think. As I've said before, you know, you paint every day and you soon get the instinct of knowing when to finish. It's a funny feeling you get when you go, right, that's it. You don't want to do too much to it. Don't over-egg the pudding. Someone asked me the other day what painting style I am, and my answer was I haven't a clue, because I'm still finding my feet pretty much. Been painting seriously for 15 months, so still, you know, learning and getting my style and everything like that. And the best way is just painting every day, whenever I've got time. Do some finishing touches on that background. At the moment, I'm very interested in tone lists at the moment. George Innes being one of them, Stuart Davies. And I do like Turner and his dramatic skies. I'm a big fan of John Atkinson Grimshaw. And my mum's got, well, she's got two paintings of his. I don't know, prints. And they've always been on a living room wall. I think that's what's got me started in painting. I've always had an interest in it. I bumped into a lady the other day who's elderly, very elderly, and we were talking about John Atkinson Grimshaw. She then recited a poem which she wrote many, many years ago, and it was about one of his paintings, and my hair stood on end. I thought, oh wow, this is incredible. So she's going to write it down for me, which would be nice. It was a beautiful poem that she wrote herself, and she just said it off the top of her head. She must have written it 50 years ago. So I think we're there. I'm getting that feeling, that instinctive, I don't know what it is, a little tickle on the back of my neck saying, right, stop. So thank you very much for watching, and as usual, thank you for your likes and your things like that. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.